Hey Eastpoint, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Tony.
And we're here on the last Sunday of 2024, just reflecting on some of the things that God has done this year at Eastpoint. And we want to share some of the highlights of this year with you as we head into 2025. And I was just thinking about how we celebrated Christmas Eve this week. And Tony, how was your Christmas?
Well, I don't know, because it hasn't happened yet. We're recording this a couple days before Christmas, but no matter where you are, if you're in your living room, maybe you're still just laying in bed watching this on your phone, we just wanted to be able to join with you one last time in 2024 before we head into the new year.
Yeah, and we've got a lot of really great stuff to share that has actually happened this year. And so we're going to share some wins from this year, some projects we participated in, and what I'm most excited for is how we surprised our Dream Teamer of the year, or in this case, Dream Teamers of the year at the end of this video.
Yeah, one of the things that we say a lot is this phrase of here, near, and far. And we talk about this as the way that God wants to use us as the church to impact and influence the here, near, and far. So the here is often things that happen like within our building at Eastpoint, but the near is our community and around the area, and then far is maybe across the globe. And so we get to share some of the wins that have happened in those ways this morning as we wrap up the year. So one specifically that I want to talk about though is your generosity, because of the way that you give. You might not know this, but every time that you give every dollar to Eastpoint, we get to take a portion of that and go directly to make a difference outside of our building. And so here's some of the ways that your generosity has been making a difference.
Yeah, one of my favorite projects this year was when we partnered with Sleep in Heavenly Peace, and we did a bed build right in our parking lot on a Saturday, and it was so much fun and so cool to be a part of that. We built 26 beds, and Sleep in Heavenly Peace's mantra is no kid sleeps on the floor in our town. And so because of what you did in that bed build, beds have been delivered to kids throughout this fall, to 26 kids. They're sleeping in a bed and no longer on the floor in our community.
Yeah, that's so awesome. It's because of you, because you showed up and served, because you gave and donated, that we were able to do stuff like that. A few other things that we were able to do is things like we partnered with Valley Christian School, an outreach that they were doing through basketball camps to help reach kids, to help them find Jesus. We helped partner with an organization called Youth Dynamics, which same thing, it invests in teenagers, gives teenagers these experiences where they can find and follow Jesus. Even just in general benevolence, there's different times where people come to us, people in the church or whatnot, and there's a real need in their family, and we're able to budget and allocate some money to go help families when there's a time of need. And that all happens because you give.
Yeah, and because of your giving this summer, we were able to send 24 kids to summer camp, and they had an incredible experience. And most of those kids were able to go only because of your generosity, because they had a scholarship.
Yeah.
And their lives were impacted this summer at summer camp.
Yeah. And then one of the coolest things that I got to be a part of, but really everyone gets to be a part of every single Sunday. And you hear us talk about all the time. Some of you are even like, why do you say the same thing every week? It's because we want you to participate in this. And that's when we get up on stage at the beginning of the service and the service host says, hey, every time you fill out this connection card, we get to make a donation in your honor. And to that organization that we make a donation to is called Living Water. Living Water, if you don't already know, it provides clean drinking water, sustainable water to developing nations around the world. And so just because of the amount of cards that got filled out in 2024, we were able to send nearly $3,000 to make a difference, to provide clean water to families and individuals who need it in different places around the globe. But then specifically this year, we took a team to the Dominican Republic where we got to come alongside and see firsthand the difference that Living Water is making. And it was incredible. And we can't wait to go back in a future year. But one of the things that we were able to do while we were there is we built a hand washing station at a local school. Before that, think about this, we take this for granted so much. They couldn't even wash their hands before they go eat or just coming in from recess or whatnot. And so building a hand washing station where they can keep their hands clean to make it more sanitary and safe for them. We put a new roof on the school, and on their kitchen, we put some new doors so they can actually secure their buildings. And we got them a water cooler where they can have cold drinking water. So just so many different ways that on this trip that we were able to participate and come alongside what Living Water is doing in a different country. And again, your generosity is what helps seed and fuel that, and it makes a difference. And thanks to every one of you who went on that team. And we can't wait for future trips too.
Yeah, and I also really loved with Living Water our night of worship that we did
Yeah.
to raise funds for that trip. It was just a special time together, and people were really generous.
Yeah, we did that right here in the lobby where we got to worship and with a cause, and it was incredible.
Yeah. Another thing that we had a group of people do this fall actually was serve at Union Gospel Mission. It's downtown, and they served a meal. And it was a really cool experience for that group. They're a group that meets regularly this group season, and they decided to serve together and serve our community in that way.
Yeah. So thanks for the way that you've given. Thanks for the way that you've shown up, because that makes a difference both all here, near, and far. Those are kind of the near, and those are kind of the far. Now we want to share some of the great things that have happened right here as we gather together at the Eastpoint building and in small groups and different things where people are taking steps of faith.
There are a lot of moments from this past year that stand out as memorable to me. But Tony, what are some of your favorite teaching series that you've done or topics that you've taught on this year?
Well, I mean, obviously when we do teach, we hope that they're memorable, right? We hope that even if you were to think back, if you've been here throughout the year with us, what are some of your favorite series that we've done? If I had to pick a favorite series, I'd probably say the Psalm 23 series, the 23andMe, and kind of letting God change your DNA, so to speak, through that series. And the reason why, I think, is because we made those little cards that we were able to send home with everyone. And for us, we put that on our fridge in our house, and we were able to read that. All my kids read it, but specifically my daughter, who's 8 years old, she would read that every day. She'd come in and read it to me, and she memorized the entire chapter. And it's still something that we talk about in our home today.
Yeah, that was a great series. We still have our card on our fridge today.
So, okay, that was mine. What's your favorite series?
Well, honestly, my favorite series is the one that we just did, the Holiday Hustle.
Okay, that makes sense because you got to speak the first 2 talks of that series.
And they were killer.
So your favorite series are when you talk. I get it.
Exactly. But really, this conversation that we had this past month is one that I've been thinking about and processing a lot over 2024. And it's been making a difference in my own life. And so to be able to share that with the church, and hopefully they grab onto it too, and it makes a difference in their lives, that's everything. That's
Right.
what I hope for.
Yeah, and if you were here with us, especially in the holiday season, for us to be able to slow down and focus on the things that matter and make time for God, make time for family, make time for our own well-being, I think was so important. One series that I remember that was probably one of my favorite moments though, is the All In series that we did, where we used the bow and arrow target as like our kind of focus or illustration. And we got to have Ashton up on stage and actually like shoot the bow and arrow.
That was cool.
And I think some people that were sitting on that right side of the auditorium maybe like peed in their pants a little bit. They were a little scared that they might get, but we assured everyone that this was safe, and he was a really good marksman. But the idea that when we keep Jesus at our center, at our aim, and there's things in life that constantly make us want to veer to the right or to the left, but what's it look like to focus and aim our lives in the direction of Jesus? And that's just so core to who we are as a church, of keeping Jesus as our message. So I loved that series and that illustration.
And you know, I bet those people were nervous that day with the bow and arrow because of the Teed Up series when you were trying to show us how to golf and you
Oh my
totally
gosh.
missed and botched it
Okay.
right on stage.
I'm
in
not
front of everyone.
I'm not good at golf. That's just reality.
So embarrassing.
But that was a fun series too, and having John up there and talking about just the muscle memory of just creating, like, what's it look like to us put like the gifts of the Spirit, like create that muscle memory for those. There's so many great things, and obviously they stand out to us as people who get up on stage and talk, but we really just hope that these are things that translate to your life. That like we talk about, like, if you can't put it into practice on Monday, why would we want to talk about it on Sunday?
Right.
And so we hope that Jesus is changing, shaping, transforming your lives every week and every day, that your life will look more like Jesus by the end of 2024, which is just in a couple days, than it did at the start.
And the way that we know that Jesus is transforming lives here at Eastpoint is through next steps of faith that are taken.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of next steps of faith taken this year. We had 96 new believers
Let's go.
at
Come on.
Eastpoint, either taking boxes from the back of the room, taking Bibles for the first time, and reading their Bibles this year. That's a big deal. We had 8 people make the decision to be water baptized in
So cool.
2024. And in our groups over the year, we had 107 people participating each season with 16 groups meeting consistently.
That's awesome.
People are following Jesus together.
If you've been in a group this year, you're doing it, man. Because we can gather in the building so much on Sundays, but we say circles are better than rows because you only learn so much about each other when you're looking at the back of their head. Yeah. So we just do life better when we actually get to share it with other people. So thanks, that truly makes a difference. Again, these next steps, we talk about it all the time because we always want you to take the next right step that God is leading you to take. And one specifically that we challenged you with at the end of the year is our gift offering. And we do this each year, we talk about this, and we didn't set a goal to raise a certain amount of money because the truth is, if we just had a goal, let's say, of $100,000, one person could write a check and all of a sudden, oh, boom, we got it, which would be cool. If you want to, there's still time. But really, we just said, we want everyone to take the step to ask God, how can I participate in generosity with the gift this year? And you guys turned out in record numbers. Honestly, just a few years ago when we started measuring this, participation-wise, we had 32 giving units. So like individuals or families who gave to the gift. That was 2 years ago. Last year, we saw that when we stopped making a monetary goal, we just said we want to increase participation. And last year, we saw 47 participate in the gift. And this year, because of the way you guys have shown up and taken the next step together, we've already had 67 people participate in this year in giving. It's awesome. That means just so many of you are coming alongside of what God wants to do through Eastpoint in the here, near, and far. And honestly, there's still a few days that you can participate, that the fund will be open if you want to do that. You can just select the gift and you can participate if you haven't done that already. Because we're just excited about how the reality is that when everybody does something, nobody has to do everything. And so thanks for the way that you participated in the gift this year.
Another win for this year, some of the next steps that we've taken as a staff, and we just recently hired a youth director. He started this month, and we really want to introduce you to him. So take a look at this.
Hey everybody, my name is Jeremiah, and I'm really excited to be taking on the youth director role here at Eastpoint. I've grown up here at this church through young kids ministry and at youth group here in the same room. And I'm really excited to guide students to find and follow Jesus here at Eastpoint. There are two things that I want to let you know about coming up this year. The first is that middle school youth is coming back to Sundays starting January 5th. So don't forget to bring your middle schooler because there's going to be a message, games, and groups that they should totally be a part of. The second thing is that winter camp signups are available now. You can access those through the Church Center app. It's a blast. I've gone there for maybe 8 years and it's always been a good time. Well, I hope you guys have a happy new year and I am very excited to see where this year takes us. Thanks.
Honestly, we're really excited about what's happening in both youth and in kids here at Eastpoint. And as we head into 2025, really just continuing with this strategy of being super intentional to create environments that your kids can't wait to come back to week after week after week. But also it's equally important that we want to disciple the kids. We want to disciple the youth to help them build a foundation of faith that when they graduate high school, they don't also graduate their faith and really get to follow Jesus for the long haul. And so I want to say thanks to you that are on the dream team that serve in any of those environments because it is making a difference. I once heard it said that every kid is one caring adult away from a success story. The truth is that we never know what home life is like for kids who show up. And so we want to come alongside of them. When you serve and you help create those environments in kids and youth rooms, that's what we're getting the opportunity to do, to help them find and follow Jesus. So thanks, Dream Team. In fact, this is what we've been waiting for. Some of you, Rachel, I know you're most excited about this, to share our Dream Teamer, or in this case, Dream Teamers of the year. We started this last year where we get to nominate one person, or again, in this case, it's a couple. But this is actually really difficult because our team leads, our staff has been nominating people and it hasn't been easy. We wish we could give it to all of you.
Yeah, we literally fought this year about who should receive this title of Dream Teamer of the Year because we love all of you. We genuinely care.
What do you
and think that you're deserving of it.
I like you said the title. We always also wonder, like, what are we going to give them? What do? Do they get like special parking? Do they get a special seat up front in the auditorium? But really, it comes down to we want to honor you and really just say thanks in a big way for what you do. And this couple has stood out in so many different ways throughout the year, and the way that they selflessly serve. They've been involved in leading groups. They've been involved in serving teams. They've done really so much, and it's making a difference.
Yeah, this couple is really special, so let's watch this.
I'm Mike Bewley, and I have been a part of the Dream Team since we started coming to Eastpoint back in 2009.
And I'm Corey Bewley, and same thing, 2009. I serve on the coffee bar on Sunday mornings, also greeting people, passing out programs, and we also serve doing marriage mentoring. I love being on the Dream Team because get to meet new people, see new faces, serve alongside friends and people that come to Eastpoint.
I serve on the worship team as well as the marriage mentoring. I love being up on stage. I love singing. I love worshiping and leading others in worship as well. And I just feel as though it's something that we should be doing. We should be giving back to church.
How has serving on the Dream Team kind of changed your guys' life?
Just kind of fills my tank. When I'm able to serve, it just makes me feel good doing it. I don't get tired of it. I don't come to church and like, oh, I have to serve today. I don't have those thoughts.
Being able to be around people and interact and see the joy on people's faces and get to witness also like when they're struggling or just need someone to pray with them or talk to them or listen to them. I just enjoy, kind of fills my soul up there.
How is it be able to serve with your partner?
I definitely think serving alongside Mike strengthens us and helps us with just marriage mentoring, and even though he's on the worship team and I'm out front, but we're just kind of doing life together and being here with others too, doing life.
As marriage mentors, we see the results of that, and that has strengthened our marriage. Really, just being here on Sunday morning together, it is fun serving as a married couple.
I would say just do it. Get out of your comfort zone, be ready and available, and there's different opportunities and areas that you can serve in. Just kind of ask.
I've heard others in the years past, I don't know where to serve, or I don't know what to do, or I'm not gifted to do that. It's just try one area. If it doesn't work out, fine. No harm, no foul. Try a different area, but just get out and do it. Just serve somewhere. Whether if you like talking to people, be a greeter. If you like, if you kind of want to be back in that, hiding in the shadows a little bit, then turn on the lights before service, or put out chairs. If you really don't know where to do it, just ask. Like Corey said, just ask and see where you're needed. Mm-hmm. It's a team of people that are helping with the dream and the vision and the mission of Eastpoint. And I say just give it a try if you're not already doing it.
If you guys can nominate someone for Dream Team of the Year, who would you want to nominate?
Shut up! You are not!
We are? We're the Dream Teamers of the Year?
You guys!
We didn't see this coming. It's not, I don't know, to us it's not something that we feel we want, or need a lot of recognition about. It's just something we do. Mm-hmm. So I mean, yeah, I'm super grateful. It's awesome.
I'm a little embarrassed.
It's amazing to be, it's awesome to be recognized, but yeah, I don't look for that. So it's super cool. I mean, it's just something we do.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Dream Team!
Oh, you guys. Oh my gosh.
Well, congratulations, Mike and Corey. We think that's awesome. You definitely deserve it. And so thanks really though, again, to the whole Dream Team. It's because of you that we get to do all of this. And as we wrap up today, I asked Rachel to kind of share, I don't know if you don't know this already, your role here is next steps and helping people continue taking steps in your journey of faith. In some churches, they might call it like a discipleship pastor, but that's the language we use is next steps, because you're never to a point where you don't have another one to take. So Kind of share a little bit of your insights of what you were thinking to help encourage us as we head into 2025.
Yeah, well, like I said, this last series that we did in December, the Holiday Hustle, was my favorite, and not just because I taught the first 2 weeks, it was because of the
They were good
content.
though. You should go back and watch them if you didn't.
You should, because the content is
Yeah.
really good. We introduced these ideas of practices to help you follow Jesus better, to model your life after the lifestyle of Jesus. And in Matthew 5, Jesus does this Sermon on the Mount. It's his famous teaching of how to live your life in the kingdom of God. And at the end of his message, at the end of Matthew 7, Jesus says this to everyone listening. He says, everyone who hears this and puts them into practice is like a wise man who builds their house on a firm foundation, on a solid rock.
Yeah.
And so that's what my encouragement is to you today. All of these things that we've talked about, these practices of silence and solitude, Sabbath, simplicity, put them into practice in 2025. And take some time today, maybe 5 minutes after this, by yourself or with the people that you're watching with, and come up with a plan. My husband and I actually just did this after Tony's talk on Sabbath. We sat down together and we planned out in January when we could practice Sabbath together as a family. And we literally added it to our calendar
That's
because
good.
life is busy, and we know that if we don't make it a priority, it won't happen. So do that today. Make it a priority. Pick one practice to implement in January and put it on the calendar.
Yeah, I love that because it really just makes it practical. Sometimes we feel like there's so much work to be done. It really, if we want our lives to be modeled around and look like Jesus, that there's like, oh, there's just too much to do. There's too much carving off of me to make me
Right.
less and him more. And you're just saying, just choose one, kind of that start wherever you're at. And I love that because that's truly what, like, that's our next step. You know, the quote of how do you eat an elephant, right? One bite at a time. The idea of, even with our faith, I love that because we all have a step we can take of what's that one practice that we can do. So as you head into 2025, really our hope, our prayer for you is that next year, your life, your family, you as an individual will look, sound, feel more like Jesus than you did last year because you're being intentional to continue to grow. We're excited for what God's going to continue to do through Eastpoint and the way that we're going to continue to reach this community here, near, and far. And thanks to you so much for the way that you're participating in that because it's making a difference.